as we load into Death RLE in the top left-hand corner of the map. We are joined here by the blue Terran player. He comes from Australia and he plays for Mind Freak SC. It is, of course, the pizza man, Seither.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Death Aura LE, it is the other Australian Terran, the Red Terran, representing Legacy Esports. It is Azure.
All right, TvT. I don't know like anything about TvT.
I mean, we all know that you know a lot of it. You're the expert at TvT, especially because earlier today you tuned into the GSL finals, which was a TvT, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you were all over that.
Totally. Yeah, I tuned in. I watched the games. One of two Terrans won.
Yeah. You were posting in the tournament spoilers channel in Discord. You were, in the voice chat. You were hyping up the players and posting every time a game was finished and yeah. So it was a pretty sick finals, not gonna lie.
I mean, TY versus Maru. Come on.
It was
it's
probably
gonna be wicked.
Yeah, probably the best TvT, one of the best TvTs we've had all year, especially in tournament play. I guess I probably shouldn't spoil the winner because it literally just happened a couple of hours ago. But it was very exciting. It's very dynamic. In their series, there was maybe one game which was like a slow standard, like siege line versus siege line TvT. But for the most part, they were pretty active. Like pretty aggressive, which is what you want to see.
Yeah, it's entertaining when they're aggressive. It's action and gives the casters things to talk about rather than pastoses making bad jokes and sounding like boomers.
I mean, that's what they do every cast. I mean, that's
yeah, they are boomers at this point.
That's what they do. That's who they are.
Boomers.
Yeah, pretty much. They're not getting any younger.
Nope.
But you know what? They're still the best at what they do, especially in the land of Korea. And yeah, they had the luxury of casting that TvT. Here we have our own TvT, and we'll see what happens. These two players, like I will say, generally, Seither is like the more favored player, but in a TvT, these two they go back and forth.
Yeah, they're even players in the Terran versus Terran matchup, so this would be an interesting one to watch.
Jet, did you just get triggered in the chat?
No. I'm definitely not still mad that Seither didn't take pictures of his goddamn pizza.
He still has time. Everyone who is currently watching, there's currently a pizza contest going on in social media that's StarCraft related. If you send your a photo, a selfie even, of your pizza, send it to SE2 Snacks on Twitter, Rainer, the Italian boy, the Italian stallion himself, will rate it and judge it.
Yeah, no, I don't have the time or the ingredients, unfortunately, and I completely forgot about it for like a couple of weeks.
God damn it, Jet. God damn it.
Listen, I don't do a lot in my daily life, right? So remembering to like find the ingredients to make a damn pizza when all I eat is like leftovers and chips, it's a little bit on the tougher side for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's only a couple of days left. I'm not too sure. Kura can confirm in the chat. But, enough about that pizza. Of course, Seither, he needs to post his pics. He is going for a bit of a drop.
Yeah, the Widowmine and SCVs, the Marines going in here. Oh, the Widowmine does get focused down really quick and taken out before it can get the burrow off as the Marines go into the main, but the Hellions are there to save the day.
Yeah, nicely done. Azure is able to split up his Hellions. He has a decent amount in his main, decent amount in his natural, and it looks like this drop shouldn't get too much done.
Not at all, and that's very nice defense here from Azure.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have Azure going across the map with this Liberator, not really getting many SCV kills, but denying a lot of mining time.
Yeah, he's keeping them away as the Raven finally shows up and drops its gun. The Liberator gets mildly annoyed and moves to the other side.
I love it. It's like he acted like he was going to the natural, but no, he like went around to the main. At the same time, the Hellions are diving in on top of the tank.
Hellion on the tank. Oh no, that's pretty bad losing that tank. He does end up cleaning up a lot of these Hellions with the Marine count and the other tank, but still. And on the other side of the map, another drop coming in, evenly trading on those SCVs. And
Yeah.
it's basically even.
Jesus Christ. So Seither, he realized that Azure, he sent his Hellions across the map, so he just went back in with that same drop, got the Marines into the mineral line, and now they've both kind of traded evenly. I say that, but Seither, he is slightly ahead in terms of that worker count.
Yeah, despite that really strong defense from Azure, his attack, and a really strong start to his attack, it ends up very slightly in Seither's advantage. So, very good stuff here from Seither. Again, these two players so evenly matched. Like, this whole game has been a demonstration of that so far.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see that Seither, he is slightly ahead in terms of tank production. I believe there's only one coming out here for Azure. Again, it's because he was spending a lot of his factory production time pumping out all those Hellions. And in the end, like, they were able to kill one tank, but they didn't get too much value. And now Seither, he's pushing out.
Yeah, he's got the two tanks and a handful of Marines, and he's gonna be doing some damage. Oh, potential stim snipe.
He gets it.
Yep, he gets it. He snipes Stim. Very nicely played from Azure. Got a snipe off Stim. Interference matrix onto the tank. Ooh, we don't know light as these the boys are pulled to try and get us around here on the tank. And this front of Seither's attack may end up going down. Very good moves are actually going to help him survive, but enough to keep doing damage. As the Cyclone does take out the tank, and eventually it does get cleaned up, but...
Oh, yeah, and honestly, that was really scary for Azure, because it's like, yo, he denied Stim, but there were like two tanks and a bunch of Bio hitting his front door. It was really smart that he was able to pull the SCVs and hold. He lost a lot of workers, but he didn't die.
Yeah, I mean, he lost his tank there as well, to an auto turret, which made that defense even harder, but he managed to pull it through with some good movement with the boys. Getting some good surrounds.
Yeah, and it looks like he was a little bit distracted because I was a little bit concerned. Those two Ravens that he sent across the map to kill that the tech lab and deny the Stim, they both went down as well. They did not make it home.
Oh. They did not make it home. The Cyclones here. I don't know what they're doing over here.
Yeah, maybe they can get a pick off on one of these Ravens.
Oh, they're gonna try to step at Raven. Oh, but out of vision. There are tanks there now. Single drop coming out from Azure.
Yeah.
We'll see how that does.
I liked the moves with the Cyclones, but again, there were tanks in range, so he couldn't quite get the snipe off. We do have this drop that's sneaking in. There is a missile turret, and it looks like Seither does react.
Yep. He does react and moves out towards it, and he's actually going to be able to pick off the medevac with most of the Marines inside. Very nice here from Seither, keeping it on lock.
Oof. Yeah, again, Seither, the shield, like the defenses of him has just been insane. We have plenty of misstarts here in case a Doom drop comes out from Azure, and we have all these tanks as well. Azure, he just can't like find a dent here. He can't make a dent in the defenses of Seither.
Oh, he's just like an unmovable object right now. It's an unstoppable force versus an immovable object, except the unstoppable force isn't that unstoppable.
You're like, it's like an unstoppable force, except it's stoppable. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, not at all like anything I said, but you know what? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Ooh, the drop was able to just sneak in past the missile turret. It almost went down in the process, and it looks like he will get a couple of SCVs.
Yeah, trading out a decent number of SCV kills and a couple of Marines here. Not terrible. honestly, for losing that medevac.
Oh, we need to reposition Azure. He spots the army. He needs to get his tanks in position.
His tanks are not sieged up. They will just barely, but he has like no air control over here. And there are like so many Vikings.
Exactly. Like there are so many options for Seither. If he wants, he can go forward with his Vikings and land. He can just disable the tanks with his Ravens, but he doesn't even need to. He's got libs.
Yeah, he's got Liberators here, and he's gonna try and step forward to deal with the Liberators, but those Vikings just demolish the medevacs, and the Liberators stay sieged up here, making it impossible to break for this position to be held, basically. This Biofor is going to try and surround on the other side to get into the tanks. With the so many tanks stacked up, the Vikings are going to drop down here for Seither, and they're going to be able to clean up what the Bio could not, as the tanks are still sieged up over there.
Oh my god, I like... Yeah, GG. I liked the move from Azure. Like, he was trying to go for the wraparound, trying to go for that surround, but like he just didn't have any air control. There was so many tanks, and he just couldn't break Seither.
Oh yeah, he could not deal with the air control in that situation, and that ended up being his downfall. And his tank count wasn't there either. Like it was not a good time for Azure there.
Yeah, and again, that kind of comes down to like all those things adding up in the early game, right? Like he invested a lot to try and harass and deal damage to Seither, but he himself couldn't really defend too well against all the drops. You know, the push from Seither was able to deal some damage as well, reset the tank count. It all kind of added up.
Yeah, as we get into the second match, or the second game in the match series, second match in the series, second game in the match.
Second match in the game.
Yeah, I don't know what word means what. Words have no meaning. Everything is false. It's all a lie.
It's all a lie, especially because you know what? We're not in the ace match. We're in game 2, and it's on Submarine.
Ooh, whose pick was this? This feels like an Azure pick.
Yeah, I imagine it's an Azure pick.
Because Seither isn't that type of player. But any ways, we are here on Submarine LE, and joining us on the bottom right hand corner of the map is the blue Terran player, hailing from Australia, the man that didn't send pizza pics. I'm still mad. Playing for Mindfreak SC, and one up in the series, it is of course Seither.
And spawning in at the top left-hand corner of Submarine LE. This is the yellow submarine where this player thrives. He loves this map. He consistently picks it in the majority of his matchups. This is where he thrives. Can he bring it back here as he's down 0-1? He is representing Legacy Esports. It is Azure.
Well, yep. I see why he likes this map.
Yep.
Here comes the second. Yep, here he comes. Oh, he's got one at home too, so it doesn't look abnormal.
Yeah, I love this. So he throws down the racks, he even throws down the supply depot as well to make sure he walls off in case there is an SCV scout. And Seither, he shouldn't be able to see anything with this.
Yeah, he's gonna come up against the wall and nothing is there. And well, that's because there's two Raxes over here. The complete wrong side of the map.
Exactly. We'll see how long it takes for Seither to suss this out, right? To figure out that there is something amiss. And already, you know, you have a couple of alarm bells when you come in here with the SCV and you see nothing, and you see that there is a full wall, right?
Yeah, it seems a bit off, honestly, at this time. But at the same time, you know, could be anything.
Exactly. This is something that Time does a lot. Like, either he's proxying or he's not proxying. He does this just so he has that uncertainty in the mind of the opponent, you know, where they're denied all this information. Yeah,
I've seen a few Chinese players do the early wall off. I've seen a couple of Korean players do that early wall off as well. I've seen Inno do it. Like what I saw Inno do is he would like start the supply depot but not finish it, so the wall is there.
Yeah,
it's a pretty neat move, honestly.
For sure. Yeah.
The Reaper Wars. Oh, I feel like Seither's gonna think something's up now because there's two Reapers.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, he even got into the main, he scouted and he saw no add-ons, he saw no extra production. Like, he got a full scout of the main, so he knows that there's a proxy.
Yeah, he sees a third run coming out from nowhere. He knows this is a 3 Rax Reaper, and he's canceling that natural as the 3 Rax Reaper comes flying in. Oh my lord! Never knew the day would come when I would see a 3 Rax Reaper, but here I am.
Yeah, and we'll see. Like, we do have a couple of SCVs pulled, ready to tank and repair the Hellions. The bunker has finished, but you know what? Reapers, they're quite maneuverable. They don't need to fight in bunker range.
Yeah, they can just kind of leave and go to the other side. A nice micro to move the weaker ones around the back. He's gonna get out once again, just out trading, picking off a Hellion for absolutely nothing as 3 more Reapers are on the way. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, more Hellions are on the way for Seither. He's trying desperately to get a starport out, looking to try and get a Banshee or a Liberator or something, and it looks like, oh, Azure, he gets back in.
Nice grenades. He's gonna keep cutting backwards. More boys are pulled, forcing him to leave. He'll get another pick off on a Reaper. And again, these boys are holding tight, but there is enough Hellions that this will reach the point where it is unwinnable for Azure, at least in this situation.
Exactly,
like
yeah, Azure, he's on a timer right now. He needs to do something more with these Reapers, and it looks like he's realized that he can't end the game. So we do see the CC is being thrown down, a factory is being thrown down. Like, he's trying to transition out of this and delay the natural for as long as he can.
Yeah, he just wants to keep him ahead on the economy if he's not able to end to just game end him with the 3x Reaper. So he's gonna camp here and make sure that natural does not come up for Seither.
Yeah, he's just gonna chill here on the low ground. Meanwhile, Seither, he does have the Banshee on the way. It's gonna be, I imagine, going across the map, and at the moment there aren't any defenses, so potentially this Banshee could deal a lot of damage if Azure doesn't realize that it's coming.
Ooh, sneaks around the Reapers as well as they come in to try and do some damage. They could do a bit of a SCV damage here. Focus fire down one Hellion, very nice. But the Banshee did come back home, and these Hellions are doing still quite a bit of damage. But there's so much SCV damage being done here. He's gonna get another Hellion. He's gonna get another Hellion. Nice. He's gonna keep doing SCV damage, and overall, these Reapers are finally paying for themselves.
Yeah.
In dividends.
Like, it took a long time, but finally Azure, he found an opening. Seither thought he was safe. He thought he was secure. He salvaged his bunker. He didn't have any SCVs in position to repair or to body block or anything, and because of that, 17 SCVs go down.
That is very nicely played from Azure. He found a window and he went for it, and his micro shone through in that one.
He landed.
Very nice.
He's making a Marine in the base.
Yeah, dude. It's like that time special proxy ghost in somebody's main. Was that special?
I don't think this is like that at all.
Well, see, yeah, because Seither knows about this one. I don't think whoever special was playing knew, because he just hit it in the corner of Everdream's massive mains.
He did, yeah. Special did do that. He did do that, and it looks like with this, he's able to just buy time. A little bit of like maybe like a BM move, like just landing the racks in the mineral line.
I mean, they know each other. It's probably just like a banter meme BM move.
Yeah.
So I don't expect it to be genuinely like a toxic thing, or if he was like, I'm gonna land in here and make a Marine.
Meanwhile, like I was keeping an eye on like the workers lost, and like Azure, he wasn't losing any, and there is one kill here on the Cyclone, so it looks like the Cyclone was able to catch out the Banshee of Seither and actually kill it before it got any damage done.
Very nicely done from Azure, and Azure is just kind of taking command over this game pretty much. And this map seems to be a comfort zone for him, being able to pull off stuff like a 3-Rax Reaper.
Definitely. I will say that obviously this is a TvT, and even though Azure does have a big economic lead, it can still be difficult to push into a turtling Terran, and if you're Seither, like that's what you want to do.
Oh yeah, you can just like turtle up and never die, despite being behind as Seither, and that's what you want, because then you can go into composition that buys you that, you know, gets better with time, much like a fine wine. That rhymed.
Thought you were gonna keep going with that. Thought you were gonna just...
No, I didn't have a rhyme for rhyme.
Oh god, there you go. And you know, okay, so there was a scouting Marine, and Azure, he does spot the move out. Again, this is quite a fragile army. There are only 2 tanks and a handful of SCVs, but if Azure wasn't ready, he could have dealt some damage. But Azure, he sieges up.
He's on the case, and he's got 2 Ravens, but he has no Vikings here. He's once again lacking in the air support department. He does have 2 Vikings on the way out. But yeah, oh, going for the turrets. Oh, he gets 2 turrets down, but they get instantly shredded by the tanks, and both Ravens are gonna get picked off. Meanwhile, in the main, auto turrets galore.
Oh god.
Focusing on add-ons. All these tanks are getting dropped on.
They are. Oh, the tank is so low.
The tank barely survived. Okay. But there's still tanks here for Seither that are sieging down the production.
Yeah, like Seither, he traded so well there, even though he had like I guess the smaller army, like his Raven control, his Viking control, able to land on top of the tanks. Like in the end, I feel like Seither traded a little bit better, and Azure can't really do anything about these tanks.
Oh yeah, absolutely agreed. Like Seither out-traded there, mostly because he just controlled that fight really well to play from a disadvantage like that. And yeah, he's just sitting here camping the production.
Yeah, he has to be careful not to overstay his welcome, because Azure, he's getting ready to surround. Like he has Marines and Cyclones here ready to catch him, and well, it looks like he will.
He comes. Oh, he's gonna catch these unsieged. He's not got enough to like clean that up or anything, but he might pick one off. Never mind.
Oh god. See, they're just trying desperately to keep it alive. Oh god, the micro.
Oh,
Wow.
But there's a liberator here. They're good. They're protected.
Wow, he kept all his tanks alive. Jesus.
I don't know how he did it.
The control from Seither again. Like even though he was behind earlier, he was able to trade well enough to pull himself back into this.
Yeah, which is definitely very nicely played. That's just kind of TvT, honestly. That kind of thing can happen in this matchup a lot. Even by mirror matchup standards, it's pretty volatile.
Yeah, it's like, you know, if one player is like better prepared and sieges up first and like engages better, like that can be kind of it, you know. And as you're pointing out, Azure, he didn't really have that. Okay. He pulls away from the Liberator. It looks like he will be able to deal with it. But like he didn't have air control earlier, right? And because of that, like Seither was able to abuse it a little bit. Air
superiority. That's what you need in TvT. Yeah, as the players have reached a sort of stalemate, despite, you know, the fact that this is submarine. They're just kind of macroing up and getting their stuff. Seither's going on the way to 1-1 stim.
Yeah. He's just working on his upgrades, you know, working on his bio upgrades. Meanwhile, Azure, he scans, he sees all the tanks, realizes that, like, you know, Seither, he isn't posturing, he isn't pushing out across the map. They're all here defensively. And we just got some tank lines going.
Yep, we get to just kind of vibe while tank lines are drawn and macro things happen in the background.
Yeah, we got center towers being thrown up, we got missile turrets being thrown down just in case there's like a big doom drop or something along those lines, because that can be another way that like can really swing a TvT in your favor, is like you just pick everything up and go.
Yeah, just drop everything you own on top of the production.
That can be one of the ways to win a game or just lose a game, because you get
it's a coin flip play. Like it's one of the most coin flip plays you could do in basically StarCraft. It's like a cannon rush.
Yeah,
basically,
because we've seen it work so well and we've seen it work so poorly, where like he doesn't realize that he's like boosts in and then there's like a wall of missile turrets and he just loses everything, you know. It's like or even like Vikings come in, or I think we were casting Azure versus Seither, and Azure, he went for the doom drop. No, sorry, Seither went for the doom drop. Azure tried to stim and catch it, but he missed it, and then he just lost everything. It's like
it's definitely a risky play, but a very rewarding one, because it can either game end somebody entirely out into the shadow dimension, or, you know, you can just kind of throw the game for content.
Yeah. And this is a risky play. Seither, he's posturing with this army in vision, when really, he's going for the doom drop.
Yeah, here he comes. This middle stars, though. He's gonna lose one of the medevacs, but 4 more get in. There is 3 tanks here and a good spread of Marines. They're sieged up onto the production. And this is going to be a difficult position to break here for Azure, I think.
Yeah. I like how we were talking about doom drops and they just so happened to go down. He's gonna try and stim in and deal with this. And it looks like
he should have stimmed in. He's focus firing the tanks. He gets 2 of them, and in the end, he's going to be able to clean this up. But he does lose a decent amount here.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, at the same time, the army of Azure was forced into his main base, so it gives an opportunity for Seither to siege up and try to take out this 4th.
Seither is relentless with these sieges, and these splits are pretty good, but there's still so many tanks here. The stim is very nice, and he's getting quite, like, a good amount of damage off. You will clean this up.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but the Marines of Seither were body blocked and they couldn't get past the tanks to protect them.
Yeah.
They were stuck behind. They were like, let us in. We want to protect you, but the tanks were too thick.
Yep, they were large boys and did not give space for the Marines to just absorb damage.
Oh, God. Yeah, they just couldn't get through. And because of that, Azure, he was able to defend against the drop. He was able to clean up all the naked tanks that were just left alone. And now he can finally push out across the map and deal some damage.
Yeah, Azure's finally taking back the momentum in the game ever since the opening with the 3-racks, the proxy 3-racks Reaper, and he's just flooded in bio. He's got like 4 tanks here, I think. You know, he can just kind of siege up here.
Yeah, he snipes the 4th base. You know, C3 is stuck. He's contained on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Azure, his economy for the most part has been left alone, so he isn't even like forced to really push in here.
He's been ahead in economy ever since the opening, so he is sitting pretty.
Oh yeah, definitely. And C3, he just can't really do anything here. He lost so much supply going for that doom drop, and I mean, now he just has to turtle up and try and catch up in terms of supply at least.
Yeah, once again, Seither scores from the back foot, and if you know anything about sword fighting, being on the back foot is not a good thing.
Yeah, you don't want to be you don't want to be like forced with your back against the wall, right, and know where to really maneuver. And that's kind of where Seither is right now. He's like stuck in this corner of submarine. Meanwhile, Azure, he's juking and driving. He kind of has control of the entire map. Yeah, the only thing Seither can really do is either defend or try and go for a doom drop. Oh god, who is it? No. Jett, please. Oh god. F's in the chat. Oh god. Jett, I hope she's okay, of course. She resides in New Zealand. I don't know if there's a storm or something like that going on. Hopefully her connection issues can be solved so she can continue with the broadcast, but Jett, please. Yeah, so I guess we're just gonna have to we're just going to have to continue without her and try and solo cast. Alright, as the countdown timer reaches 0, Jett does leave the game, and we're going to continue with this series. And I mean, we'll see how long this game is. You know, it is a TvT, and maybe it'll give Jett enough time to get situated again. You know, if there was just a DC, I don't know if like the power is out or the internet is out. We'll try and get some information on that. In the meantime, we got Azure. He's maxed out. He's working on 3T. What upgrade is that? What? I have never seen that before. Okay. I legitimately have no idea what that is. What is that? What is that? Is that like the... That's not the medevac upgrade, is it? Oh my god. Anyway, whatever it is, he's getting that. Maybe, you know what? People in the chat, can you help me out? What upgrade, what Terran upgrade is that on the tech lab, on the starport? But you know what? He's maxed out. He's got a massive bank. Why not get every upgrade in the game? Why not? You know, just get a fusion core. You know, especially for Liberator range. You know, get a Ghost Academy, because why not? Get whatever you can. Meanwhile, Azure, he's trying to find a position here. it's kind of hard to do so. Like, without Liberators, without air control, without Ravens, I don't know how you force your way into this if you're Azure. It feels like he's maxed out and he needs to get rid of some of this supply. He needs to get rid of some of these medevacs maybe, and like, you know, get a better army, because Seither, he gets to do things like this. And sure, he lost the Liberator, but he was able to trade. Like, he was able to trade somewhat efficiently. Corvid Reactor. There we go. That's what it was. God. Meanwhile, it looks like Azure, he was trying to push into the bottom right, but all the tanks got cleaned up. Like, Azure, he's being pulled apart a little bit. Like, even though he was ahead in supply, he was maxed out, he has the bank. Like, he can't really close it out. It looks like he will get a bunch of Liberators for free, but in the process, he does lose quite a bunch of Marines. To be fair, you can get rid of Marines. Like, they're just minerals. Like, he doesn't care about them. It's all about the gas units at this stage of the game. And yeah, Seither, it looks like he's just kind of getting ready to surround the army, and at the moment there's an opportunity. Azure, he was unsieged, but he's getting spread a little bit thin. Like, his tanks are a little bit spread out, and he ends up losing a lot of the Marines there. The majority of them, he doesn't have too much protecting his tanks, and Seither even trying to go for a surround, even having some Marines in the back line. And Azure, he's kind of cut off from the rest of his army. You know, it's kind of like he's stuck here in no man's land. Seither, at any moment, he can pounce on this, whether it's with Liberators or just pushing in with what he has. Again, there's not too much here. There's only 2 Vikings to defend the skies for Azure. And yeah, he needs to get out. He needs to leave. He needs to leave before he loses everything. Oh, and he does unsiege. He does pull back. Meanwhile, Seither, like, again, he's got Marines all over the place. There's not really too much here to defend, so Seither could get a decent amount of SCV kills, and he does. And Azure, he's forced all the way back home, all the way to help defend against, you know, a handful of Marines. And Seither, he trades well, like, a decent amount of worker kills. 13, 14, 15 SCVs go down. Oof. And now with that, Seither, he's slightly ahead in terms of the worker count. At the same time, you could argue that Azure didn't want those workers. Like, he immediately remaxes, so he does have the higher army supply because, you know, he doesn't have those workers available to him. He even has a huge amount of Vikings. Oh my god. He realized that he had nothing in the sky, so he just made nothing but Vikings after he lost all those Marines, and with that, he's going to be able to take out all these Liberators, all the Medevacs, all the Vikings of Seither, and take control of the skies. And even though Seither has been trading well for the past couple of minutes, like, how well can you trade against an opponent who has such a higher economy, such a larger army?
I have returned. I apologize for that, but I am unable to cast this match, as I'm no longer in the game.
It's okay, it's okay. Hopefully you can take care of your any internet problems. Make sure everything's running smooth. And we can get you into game 2 or game 3.
Yep, everything seems to be in order as far as I'm aware.
Nice.
I just had to reset my idle.
Okay, all good.
Yeah.
It's okay, you haven't missed too much so far. Seither has been trading really well, really efficiently, and actually getting back into this game. But Azure, he was kind of maxed out on Marines, and he didn't really have the army he wanted. He lost a bunch of Marines. Now he has an insane amount of Vikings, maybe too many Vikings. And he's finally has control of the skies somewhat. But again, we talk about it. It's a TvT. He's having a hard time really cracking into the defenses of Seither.
Yeah, Azure finally, if Azure is finally able to take that as security, that's a good thing for him. But if he doesn't have enough supply on the ground, it's kind of a moot point, you know?
Yeah, definitely. As Azure, he does have a Liberator now. He is forcing Seither back, you know, with that air control. And Seither, he's trying to take care of the Liberator, but there are just so many Vikings for Azure. He just can't do it. And he's slowly, once again, being backed into that corner. He is down in supply. Azure, he's been maxed out for a while. But Azure, he's just having a hard time, you know, ending the game. He's just slowly and surely leapfrogging forward.
Got the tanks, man.
Yeah, this is accurate.
Do that.
Tanks do that, and Azure is working on like 3 upgrades for his mech army, for his tanks, for his air. He's getting Liberator range as well. Of course, that's what you want, and we'll see if Seither can do something to get back into this, because at the moment he's just kind of stuck trying to protect his bases. He hasn't really had the opportunity to go for something like a big Doom Drop or a big counterattack. And yeah, we do have a bit of a Marine run by here to the north as Azure, he's able to catch out. Ooh, he catches out a tank. He's going to be getting a lot of SCVs, and Seither just doesn't have enough supply to really protect his position. He brings all his Marines back to defend, but that means that his tanks are exposed. There's nothing here to protect them. There's an opportunity for Azure to finally push into this tank line. It's not taking it though. God damn it, Azure. He pushes forward with his Vikings, and again, he's winning the Viking war, but he doesn't feel confident enough to pounce on these tanks. Seither, he's given the opportunity to reposition. Ooh, but he's on siege, and Azure, he's trying to take this opportunity. He sims forward. And looks like all these tanks are going to be going down. 5 tanks get taken out for free. Seither, he's forced back. What does he have? He has 3 tanks. He has a bunch of Sim Marines. He has no medevacs to keep them alive. He has a decent amount of Vikings, and that's really what's keeping him in this game. But again, he's starting to run on fumes. Like, he's mining out. There's nothing in his main. There's 1 mineral patch in his natural. He only has 1 mining base, and if he loses that, like, that's got to be it. So we do see, more scans going down, Azure repositioning a little bit, edging forward as best he can. He's just taking the entire map at this point. He's expanding all over the place. He's floating CCs. He's got, oh my god, he's got 4 CCs at his 4th, just chilling. They're not even orbitals, they're just CCs. Okay, there we go. They're turning into orbitals. At least some of them are. We've got Yamato on the way. Again, all the upgrades, because why not? And yeah, we're just Azure. He's just chilling. You know what? Which is okay. Like, you don't want to throw. You don't want to have this advantage and then run forward into siege tanks and lose everything. That can be a way for Seither to get back into this. As hard to imagine as it may seem, like, it is possible, I guess, for Seither to win. A lot of things have to line up for that to happen though. Like, Azure needs to like unsiege and move command forward and then lose all his tanks, so then maybe Seither has a chance. As we see Seither, he's sending all his Marines to the north to deal with this CC. Again, they're so overstimmed though. They're all basically red. They're all almost dead because there are no medevacs. Again, this could be a cue for Azure to stim forward and kill these tanks because there's nothing to protect them, but he opts not to go for it. He lets the CC die, and because of that, Azure is able to expand and actually get another mining base. So I was hoping this game would end relatively quickly so we can get Jett back into this, but like Azure, he's playing this so scared. So scared. He's not really going for these big moves, these decisive moves to try and win any engagements. He's allowing Seither to expand. He's allowing him to slowly get back into this. Because at this point, like, if Seither loses this base, it doesn't matter. There's no mining. There's a single gas geyser there. Like, it has no value to him. If Seither wanted to, he could just sack it. Like, this isn't a big loss for him. The big loss would be the bases to the north, right? These are the ones that matter. So yeah, and so that happens, right? He lifts up the base, he lets it go. Meanwhile, we have Azure trying to apply pressure here to the north, and with this single tank, he can do so. Like, these Marines are so low, they're almost dead, that a single tank shot would kill all of them, but we do have a couple more reinforcements. So Seither, he's going to be able to defend the northern base, able to take out this tank, and at the same time, he gets rid of his southern base, he lets it go, he knows that he can't really do anything about it. But now, maybe, finally, Azure, he's found the opportunity to, like, actually push into the natural and then get on top of the production. And if that happens, like, that's got to be GG. And we'll see the Marines are slowly pushing on forward. Again, there are only 4 tanks to defend. The rest of the Marines, the rest of the army of Seither are kind of cut off from this area of the map, so he can't really do too much. He's coming back home to try and defend, but we'll see if he can do so. Again, like, he's got the, it looks like he has the superior Viking count, so maybe he can push this back. He's able to kill all the Vikings. Ooh, snipes a medevac as well. Again, Azure losing a lot of supply, but Seither, he just doesn't have much left. He's down to less than 100 supply. Like, he's fighting as best he can. And we've got siege lands, but he's dead. There we go. GG gets called.
GG.
GG, Jet. That was a very slow death. It was very slow.
Yeah. TvT can be like that.
It can. And you know what that means? We're tied up.
Oh, we're tied up 1-1.
We go into that ace match.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I am not sure what this map is, but we will find out shortly.
I know, right? We've already had submarine. What's going to be game 3? What's going to be the map?
I can't believe that game lasted like 25 minutes on like submarine of all maps.
TvT.
Agreed.
Oh boy.
Right. As we load straight in here to game number 3, the ace match between Seither and Azure, and only one of these players will move on to the finals. And yeah, Pillars of Gold. This would be an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
And on cue, there we go. We loaded in.
Beautiful.
And joining us on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have the blue Australian Terran. The man who refused to take a picture of his goddamn pizza. Playing for Mindfreak SC. It is Seither.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the Australian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Legacy Esports. It is Azure.
All right. Well, this is seeming pretty standard. You know, your gas first standard openings.
Yeah. Like I appreciate how Azure started submarine, right, with the proxies, with the proxy 3 racks. It was pretty cool to see, especially because it looked like it failed. Like it looked like he wasn't going to be able to deal any damage, and then he just
Right at the end.
yeah.
He just whips out like 16 SCV kills. It was crazy how much damage he ended up doing with it.
And it's one of those things where, like, it's insane how much damage he was able to do and get so far ahead. But at the same time, it's insane that it took so long to kill Seither. You know, like Seither is good enough to be able to know what he needs to do to get back into it and like elongate that game and like go for those like big doom drops and like the tank positioning and all that stuff. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that, I don't know how that game lasted so long.
Yeah. Tanks, you know?
Tanks, man. It's the tank lines.
Yeah, it's the tank lines. And every time, like, one of the players would get, like, 1 or 2 libs, and it's like, oh, they're pushing the tanks back, and then they lose the libs. It's like, oh, they can't do it
never
anymore.
mind. Back to square one.
Yep. God damn it.
God damn it.
Oh.
That's just late game TvT in a nutshell. God damn it.
Oh, yeah, and we're on Pillars of Gold. It's a much larger map compared to Submarine. We could see more of the same.
Yeah. It's probably going to be a long one, especially in the ace match. This will be interesting. Gotta be keeping a top bracket player.
Yeah, hopefully Mia Micah doesn't, you know, fall asleep. Or if he does, hopefully he has an alarm set up, you know? Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully.
Oh boy, and we'll see what happens because after Thokwao versus Miyamika, as you know, we do have a bit of a skirmish here, and oh my god. Okay, it's fine. Marines come out. Oh.
Yeah, the boys are here to back up the Reaper man. Oh, they're cutting him off! Citizens arrest! Cut him off at the pass, boys! Get him out of here! Anyways, what were we saying?
So I did want to confirm because I haven't been able to check my DMs. Thucklau versus Miyamika happened, right?
Yep.
And Thucklau defeated Miyamika to move on to the finals. As soon as that series finished, Thucklau said that he had to go have dinner, so he was going to forfeit his spot for Miyamika. So Miyamika could move on to the finals. But
Right.
But Demi was just telling me that according to the tournament rules, like, because the series was played out and because Thucklau defeated Miyamika, like, he can't give his spot to Miyamika. So depending on how long this series is, like, Thucklau may not be available to play out the finals.
Which would mean the finals would be a walkover.
Yes. This could all happen. So we'll see. We'll get some confirmation after this. And
it follows basic OSC rules, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this medevac. Oh, this medevac. Oh, this medevac. Goodbye. 4 Marines to the Cyclone. All gone.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Azure, he wasn't able to drop any of his units, so everything went down, and this gives the opportunity to Seither to siege up and go and drop, but is the same thing gonna happen? Yeah.
He's just boosting it out of there. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Oh boy. Alright, so he is able to escape, but he's trying to catch the medevac.
Yeah, he doesn't want this drop to happen.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. All right, and yeah, Azure, he's to be fair, he's defending well against this. It was rough that he lost that drop, but again, losing the drop, it isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, it puts him behind a little bit, but at the same, they both went for like the exact same build, is what intrigues me the most. So seeing how Seither came up on top of that in that department,
yeah. It's a little bit scary because Azure, he made an extra Cyclone, and because of that, like, his tank production is a little bit late. He only has 1 tank. There are 2 here for Seither, so maybe Seither can get something done. He's going for the drop.
Oh, he's dropping the tanks in. Okay, he just moves them up here below the cliff. But this can siege the production here.
Yeah. I believe it also covers, like, at least the entrance to the ramp. The Cyclone gets taken out as well.
Yeah. Oh no, this is really bad.
Yeah. Like, Azure can't go off the ramp.
Yeah, this is a game-ending position here from Seither. Oh my lord, and the Marines and Cyclone pushing in here, trying to take out the Cyclone, and they do. And there's a couple of Ravens here, and they are vibing, but the turret is going to go down, and it does.
Oh, actually, the tank of Azure is in range, and he's able to take out one of the tanks.
Very nice positioning from Azure, able to get just enough vision there to snipe out his tank, and able to find a position good enough to push in with an auto turret, and he's going to be able to take out both tanks. Meanwhile, the auto turrets of Seither in the main base, taking out the bio. But there is a tank here to clean up the rest, especially if that bio gets in range. Oof. Oh, Seither.
Yeah,
barely keeping it alive.
Barely keeping it alive. Meanwhile, the Vikings are going to be able to take out the Raven, and there is no mining going on right now. GG gets called.
And Seither will move on to the finals. G to the G.
Yeah, that positioning was absolutely disgusting. Like, he had his tanks covering the ramp. Azure just couldn't get into his main.
It was nasty. Nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a series. Unfortunately, I missed the latter part of the second game, but that's fine. We got there eventually, and yeah, no, an excellent performance from both players. But Seither will take it and move on to the finals, which I believe we should be taking a break for.
Well, we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
Because I'm messaging Miss Thucklau to see if he's available. If he's not, Seither just wins via walkover.
Ah.